It is Thursday, April 27th. Is that correct? 2017? Yes.
Yep. 2017, 27.
6 p.m. This is William Newman, product owner of Linwood Washington Shop, aka headquarters, as some of us like to say. Thank you, Chris Wallace, for instituting that. And let's see, last week, what did we do? Let's check our Trello. Last week we downloaded the Civics ETM manual, and what else? We emailed Scrum Inc. for interns to join the CSM and CSPO classes. We set up NANAFT StandUp with Andrew and David for the Speedrino ECM progress. We got the GeoMagic licenses, and what else did we do? We cleaned up a thumb drive for CAD files. We reached out to Chris Wallace for the Q code. Thank you again, Chris. We checked with Zantec to see where the NSX is, and it looks like it is all done and ready.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna go pick it up tomorrow.
Cool.
What else? I'm currently in the process of installing GeoMagic in my dual boot Windows 7. It is taking a lot longer. Windows is giving me a lot of issues. That's the block. We're hoping to finish installing that and actually start installing a dual boot on Gunner's PC. I flashed a ISO into that. And that is it for me. Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Go for it, Stanley.
So last week, I came up with a course of action we can do in order to improve the performance on our website. From the plan, I just did two things. The first one, and I think it's the most important one, maybe, is like just in the homepage, the first time the page loads, the user downloads 6 megabytes of video, which is the video in the big banner in the home screen.
Yeah.
So I thought that the size can be reduced to up to 4 megabytes. So I tried to reduce the quality of the video with it's not such a big trade-off in quality. So now I got a video, instead of 6 megabytes, it's 4 megabytes. Well, maybe a little less than that, I remember. So I will, this week I will, oh no wait, I just did it last week. Also, I found a pretty useful plugin for WordPress that will compress automatically all the images in our site, and it will optimize it for web for us. So yeah, that's what I did last week.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah. So last week, and what's next?
Any blocks?
Blockers. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I tried to, instead of making the user download the whole video, maybe upload it to YouTube instead. But the plugin we are using to display the video does not support YouTube. So we either stick with big video files, or we find a way to use YouTube instead. I don't know. I don't know if that counts as a blocker. Because I couldn't use YouTube.
That is a block.
Okay.
We'll bring that up in crosstalk.
So I'm done.
Thank you, Stanley. And Stanley, please state also where you're from, or where you are.
You mean right now?
Yeah. Just for the record.
Like right now, I'm in one of my company's offices.
Oh.
My company is General UI.
Right, and you're in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, Seattle, Washington. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Stanley. And then who would like to go next?
I can go next. This is Lauren Salter on Gabriola Island, off Vancouver Island, in British Columbia, Canada. And this is my original around 1999 Red Hat Linux hat swag from Linux World, with all sorts of buttons from around that time.
Free software, yeah.
Okay, and this week I worked some more on the final piece of the 501c, which is the not otherwise classified, and just going over and making the things consistent and including everything. I decided there were these financial transactions that I didn't know whether to include because they were just money in and money out of accounts. But I decided to go ahead with that, include everything and kind of footnote it. And so that's what I did this week. And coming week, there is, for the final year, we need a asset balance, and there wasn't one on the sheet. For the last year, which is 2014, the last year I have. So I could try and write the formula for that, but I'm not that quick. So I think I'm going to look for updated data. So I may end up, and I was just doing 2010, which was a little bit behind the other ones. It's in the ballpark. But I'm thinking maybe that we're going to go 2011 to 2015 with the last asset balance, if that's available. And blocks are that asset balance business. And that's about it. And oh yeah, I overcame something I forgot in this past week, which was I had some trouble while traveling, and when I first got home, at using Git to update, to commit my changes, but everything is working now. So at the end of today or early tomorrow, or sometime tomorrow, I'll upload the most recent changes, and I will ping Joe. I missed the window while he was in Seattle. So that's maybe another block, but yeah. Anyways, that's also something for the coming week to ping Joe with requests to review and sign. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Lauren. Michael or Chris, either one of you would like to go?
All right, I'll go. I'll take it.
That sounds good. I didn't want to have to do the Mortal Kombat, fight to finish.
All right, so this is Chris Wallace. I'm the product owner of the Burleson, Texas, USA microfactory. See, last week I picked up the wheels and tires at Amtrak, the first course sent by William at the Linwood, Washington shop. And then I went over to the Burleson shop and put those wheels on car number 11. I also got caught up on rent while I was there, so we are paid up, at least for the next month. I updated the Burleson, Texas, USA microfactory webpage on WIKISPEED.org, just with the latest updates of what's going on. And then just a little bit ago, I don't know if you got it yet, William, but I shared a link for the online QR code generator with William. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for last week. If something else happened, I don't remember it. So for next week, I need to pick up some new lug nuts, and then I also want to start connecting the steering rack to the suspension modules. So I've got the tie rods and I've got the adapter. I need to drill some holes in the little adapter that attaches the tie rod to the steering rack, I believe. so we'll start that process and see what it's going to take. Other than that, I'm back to two things that I hadn't got done yet, which is I need to edit the new member email that is sent to the admin. I'll go ahead and get at least the first iteration of that done this week, and then hopefully automate sending that to the Google group. And the only blocks I ran into were that the lug nuts that I have are the outside diameter is too big for the wheels. So I found the solution for that, getting either, they call them spline nuts or like William suggested, the lock nuts.
The Gorilla lock nuts.
Right. Which are basically the same thing, I think. So I'll check that out and pick those up this week. And that pretty much wraps it up for me.
Thank you, Chris. And Michael.
Okay, so first of all, we'll do an audio check. Can anybody hear me? That's good. Okay. It's Michael Olchuk, Saskatoon, Canada. I missed last week, so I'm going to kind of roll 2 weeks into one, which is still not going to be a large list. I sort of went crazy and bid on some surplus parts where I work. They are a Polaris Ranger, a 2011 Polaris Ranger. And I put in a bid on all 4 of the units, thinking, well, if no one really wants to, well, I got all 4 of them. So I'm going to have quite a number of parts. I believe I'm going to be able to use at least one of those sets to make up an electric motor module. The units actually do run. The batteries are completely flat, and they are corroded because they were in a salt mine. So I do have some elbow grease to put into them, but I expect I should be able to get at least one of them working, and I should be able to rip a drivetrain out of at least one other one. So I expect that sometime within the next couple of months I should be able to get an electric motor module in one piece and lined up. Still not sure about the coupler that we're going to use to connect the drive shafts, the CD joints, I guess. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And so I bid on them, I got them, I haven't taken delivery yet. I will be posting a bunch of information on that, probably to a couple of forums. And unfortunately, I haven't got any of the CAD done that I was looking to get done. Next week, I am really hoping to get some of this CAD done. And I don't have any blocks, and that should be it for me.
Very good. Thank you, Michael. And I believe that wraps up our stand-up. That moves us on to our retrospective. I'll start us off. I want to give myself a 7 out of 10. Took some R&R. It was the coming of age of a 34th birthday this last weekend, so took some time, and that was good. It was a nice hike, climb, dinner, people. It was awesome. Got to see a little 12-year-old smile and make goofy faces, and of course her attempts are making me laugh, always succeeding, so that's always good. Really felt refreshed, and being able to come back and attack some of this work, especially the Windows version. Oh man, it was funny how Huber had commented and said, "Oh, it's just Windows, just quit and then restart it." Like, oh, I don't like this. That's why it took forever. So for the team, also give a 7, if not an 8 out of 10. We're doing very well. I think I like to see maybe someone else be able to take some of the either a Scrum Master or product owner responsibilities. Just in case one of us is not here or something does happen, let's try to be cross-trained. And that's probably my process improvement, is see what else can we cross-train each other on, so we can be more T-shaped people. I know that sometimes I'll ask the team questions, and everyone will get back to me really, really fast. And so to be able to share that knowledge immediately with someone else, to be able to take over some responsibilities, I think that would be great. And that is it for me. Who would like to go next? Should we keep it in order? Stanley, you're up.
Sorry, I was muted. So I'm giving points now to me and the team, right? Okay, so I give myself 7 points. And I give the team 7 points as well.
And do you excuse me? And do you have a process improvement?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. No, I don't have a process improvement. I just, don't have something in mind. It's kind of difficult find your way right now in the WordPress administration like it is now. It's really cumbersome and full of stuff. A lot of pages that are not being used that are there, like pages like from 2015 or 14, something like that. And I think if one page is not being used, then it should be deleted because it's just kind of making it harder to find the stuff that we are actually using. I think we should delete WordPress pages that we are not using anymore.
Or is it possible, could we deactivate them for the time being? Like archive them? Or you know what? Let's save that for crosstalk. I'm sorry. So your process improvement, you're proposing that we get rid of the unused pages in WordPress. Okay. Thank you, Stanley. And I think Lauren is next.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to give myself a 7 considering my situation, and the team at 10, and I'm too tired to think of a process improvement right now. I'll just vote on someone else's, and that's it for me.
I think you're Chris, you're next. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, so I'll do 7 for me. I didn't get much done, but I did make it to the shop and get some stuff out up there, which I haven't been to the shop, I think, in almost 3 months, 2 months, something like that. It's
You
been a
got
while.
wheels, you put them on. Are you kidding me? Like, you drove all the way out to Amtrak. That's like an hour.
I'd say it wasn't too bad. Finding the Amtrak was more difficult and figuring out where I was supposed to go. And then I'm going to go with a 10 for the team. I think everybody there's good open communication going through the Google groups. There's also some communication that goes through Slack that I guess that the whole team may not be seeing. But basically everybody's rocking it and plugging ahead on their project. So I think it's awesome. So definitely a 10 for the team. And I actually did not come up with any process improvement for this week. So I will just stay silent and then vote on somebody else's.
Okay, thank you, Chris. And Michael, that leaves you.
Yeah, just trying to get unmuted here.
Thank you.
One moment. Okay, I'm going to give myself a 7, or maybe a 6. And I'll give the team a 9. And I have no process improvement. I will vote on other people's.
All right, thank you, Michael. So it sounds like we have 2 out of 5 process improvements. 1, Stanley, which is yours, is to delete pages from the WordPress that we no longer use. And the other one is cross-train each other on Scrum responsibilities. Does anyone have
Actually, can I add to yours? Can I say don't limit it to Scrum? Just we need to cross-train each other on whatever is available or whatever we're doing at the time. Cross-training is kind of the heart of Scrum, isn't it?
Yeah. So cross-train.
Not just on Scrum, but on what we're doing on our project.
Okay. There we go. Cross-train each other's responsibilities. Cross-train each other's responsibilities and then delete unused WordPress pages. Does anyone have any questions about what they're going to vote on? Yes, Chris.
Which is which? Can you number them, please?
Thank you. Number 1 is deleting WordPress pages. Number 2 is cross-training each other's responsibilities. One more time. 1 is deleting pages. 2 is cross-training. On the count of 3, everyone please voice their vote. 1, 2, 3.
2.
2. Okay, so
I think
2.
it's unanimous.
Yeah, yeah, in a way. So 2. What did I say? Cross-training?
Yep.
Okay. Excellent. I'll go ahead and add that into our constant improvement tracking. And that wraps up our retrospective. We are on a roll. It's 6:23. And okay, let's move forward on to crosstalk. Does anyone have anything pressing before they go to discuss? I know, Stanley, you mentioned you wanted to delete the pages on our WordPress, on our unused WordPress pages. Is there a way to archive them or deactivate them in a way, or do we necessarily have to fully delete them so that way it actually is part of our cleanup?
I don't know if we can like make them part of a different category, because right now they are all pages, so everything is like convoluted in the same section. I think it should be fine maybe. So I mentioned this because there are like 3 home pages, pages with the name homepage on it, and I had troubles finding which one is the one that we are actually using, which is homepage 3, I think. I don't remember. It's one homepage. So that's what I mentioned it, because yeah, we have like 3 homepages and yeah, a lot of stuff over there, and I think we cannot. I don't know. Maybe I can research if it's possible to archive them, because I don't know if that's a possibility. I can look for that if you want.
I would also add that there's a lot of pages in there. Like some of those home pages are still there because when the website was updated, there's information on there that was not moved to another page. So it's sort of, again, for archival purposes. There were actually when the website was transitioned, there were hundreds and hundreds of extra pages. Like every page that had ever been created seemed to reappear, and then there were a lot of like template type pages that came with the theme. And I moved all of those to trash at some point, thinking that I did not realize that the trash file would automatically empty itself. So a lot of those are gone. None of them were really important. The only thing that would have had any value were actually those template pages. And if we ever needed to, we could set up an alternate site to view. It's sort of like the documentation built into the theme, basically. But as for the other ones, what I was going to say is this may be a perfect opportunity to pair up, because those pages, I think I'm familiar with all of them. If they're still published, we can just set them to like draft, and that will leave them around forever, but not visible. And however, does not take care of any performance issues, which I will say, once those 150 pages that were in the trash deleted themselves, the site did actually speed up some. So we probably need to go through and evaluate what can be completely deleted and what we should maybe archive, even if it's just taking the information and sticking it in Dropbox or on the Trello board or somewhere else. And as far as different home pages, if it's confusing, we can always just name them like unused. We can rename them basically to make it less ambiguous. So which pages are actually in use and which aren't.
Okay, I've added a card into our website enhancements under Chris Wallace's product owner. I need to unmute myself. I've added a card in our website enhancements under the product owner of Chris Wallace. Access pages need categorizing and or deleting.
Cool.
And
I will set the price.
sounds good. Does anyone have anything else? I have a question on Windows 7. If anyone is still using it or was using Windows 7. I thought I had
I'm still using Windows 7.
You are? And when you, Michael, when you loaded GeoMagick, did you have any hiccups on the installation?
No, I didn't actually.
Huh. Okay. All right, me.
I actually did. I'm using Windows 7, and I had an issue with the version that was available for download is for 64-bit only, and I had to use a 32-bit version, which is like a couple of now it's probably even more, but at the time it was like a version or two behind. So I had to find an alternate download. Other than that, I think the installation went okay. I don't remember anything actually going bad. It's been a year or two since I actually installed it.
I'll check and see if I have the Windows 64. I think so. I could be wrong, but it's...
If you right-click on my computer, you're probably not on it right now, but if you right-click on my computer and go to like properties, it'll tell you which edition or version you have.
It just takes so long to load every time. Whereas if I just boot up my Mac, it just comes right up. Put in your password. And sometimes Windows will say, "Oh, well, we need to check this partition drive," and I'll go into this this audit, this MS-DOS screen of going through all the different lines of code that it's trying to do, and it's like deleting this, deleting that. I'm like, don't do that. What are you doing? So it's...
That may be that sounds like an issue with the actual Windows install. In fact, it typically, and I doubt this is actually the problem, it may be something with the compatibility of it actually being on Mac hardware, but typically that's the sign of a failing hard drive, that you've lost sectors. If it's going to go through and try to replace and fix files, that's usually because the files were lost from the hard drive, which I doubt is what's actually going on. I don't know. Depending on exactly what it's doing, there may be a couple different ways to deal with that. But you may even want to run a repair on the overall Windows install.
Yeah, I may even just reinstall it because I was able to actually burn a ISO onto a thumb drive. So if it doesn't work again one more time after the stand-up, then and crosstalk, then I'm not gonna keep trying the same thing. I was getting really frustrated up until stand-up, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take a break from this, boot back up in Mac, get some emails, and follow up with people. So okay.
If you're not running 64-bit, you should be. I'm not sure what you have kicking around, but
I have
64-bit is more stable.
Yeah, I do have a 64, so that's what I registered with. So I wondered if that was gonna use up one of my serial key keys. So I don't think so, but we'll just keep trying.
If you registered it for GeoMagick, you should deregister it before you wipe out the drive.
Oh, right. No, I was not able to actually register the GeoMagick. It was just partway through that process where you have the arrows clicking and then pop-up windows says, are you confirming this is you and your information? I'm like, yes, okay. Nothing. It's okay.
I don't know what Chris did, but I installed the demo version first and then added the license afterwards.
Yeah.
I think that's a fairly typical way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I used Hubert's Dropbox link that he sent for the software.
Okay.
And that.
Yeah, on the licensing, I don't think I actually went through, like when you open it up the first time, I actually went in and used their license utility under the start menu in the same folder that the software is launched from, and then picked like virtual dongle, I believe. And then you just enter in the information. You don't have to actually, you shouldn't have to type in like your name and all that kind of stuff, I don't think. But once you do it there, that should actually go ahead and turn it on. It'll turn your trial version into a licensed version, or whichever version you're using as a trial version. It'll turn into a licensed version.
Okay.
Mine says unlimited when you look at the license.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you an expiration date.
Right.
Right. There is no expiration date, but it doesn't. But my understanding is we have 10 total licenses, and I'm not sure actually how many are in use at this point. I probably know 5 of them maybe that are in use.
Gotcha. It's just I'm so close. I just want to get to some CAD and start working on it. Come on. It's like all this prep work. I'm like, just give it to me. On a different note, one of the PC towers that was on OfferUp, this online kind of Craigslist deal, popped up, and I was thinking I may get a designated tower at home for that specific reason to work on that, because dual booting is great when I'm out about, but it takes up a lot of booting and rebooting time, and it runs hotter on my Mac. So if I wanted to do both, work on my PC and also work on my Mac at the same time, I think I may want to consider doing that. It's just some more money going out. Is it really necessary? That's the thing. Need to prioritize that backlog.
Always comes down to what you value your time as.
Yeah, that's true. And how bad is it gonna hurt my my computer or my current laptop? I like to last for a long time. So, good question. Any other advice would be appreciated. And also last week, what I did, I'm sorry for not mentioning, was that I went to the Urban Transportation Salon. It was pretty good. I mean, the presentations were very informative, and there was quite a bit. It was probably about 50, 60 of us, and about 10 of those were from Amazon. It was most of the people that came from all over the world, actually, that presented. And it was a wide range of items. It was definitely transportation, but there was a lot of the academia portion, there was the technology portion, there's the regulation portions, and it was good from different facets. It was hard to see kind of a centralized theme. I mean, it was based on transportation, but what aspect was it going to be? It was more on the technology side, innovative, and then where was it going to go? And what are some of the hurdles, things like that, perhaps. But it wasn't quite what I was expecting. The networking also was not what I expected. Every other person actually would ask me like, "Oh, do you work for Amazon?" I'm like, "No, I don't." There's only 10 people here that work at Amazon. Everybody else doesn't, please. So maybe I just fit the mold. Like, I work at Amazon. Like, no, I'm okay. I'm sure it's great to work at Amazon, but not for me, perhaps. That's it. That's all I have as far as updating and cross-talking. Does anyone have anything else?
I just wanted to visit what Stanley was talking about on the YouTube video on the homepage. I'm not, that's actually one portion I have not investigated or researched at all yet. Is it using that Q slider plugin to display those videos?
Yeah, Q slider or something.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, something like that. And so you're saying it does not have an option then to like use an embedded YouTube video. You actually have to upload the video and put it in. At least that's how it seems like it works. Yeah.
Yeah, it only supports providing multiple video formats.
Okay.
Multiple video formats.
I see. Okay. That's interesting. I think the ultimately the original vision was to actually have different videos available that would pop up and slide over and you could see more information. And that was just sort of a, hey, this is how it works to get that one on there. But if I'm not sure it's necessary to have more videos, we may actually not even need to use that slider. We may actually just be able to, if we want to use an embedded video, we may be able to just edit the homepage manually instead of using that particular plugin. It's something to keep in mind anyway. That if basically the plugin's not doing what we want, then we can always find a different way of dealing with it.
And it's also very, very slow to load. It's like almost a whole minute.
That's what it's working on is fixing the resolution on it so it won't be so it'll speed it up quite a bit.
So right now for from the 10 megabytes the WordPress site downloads 6 megabytes aside from that video.
Gotcha. Thank you. Oh, that also reminds me. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up about the website. Do you want another sync meeting for the website portion? I'm gonna see if I can pull in Kelly.
We can.
Or you want to hold off?
Yeah. Well, I know having the regular meeting was seemed to be working pretty good, at least, especially when we were starting up and trying to figure out exactly how we were going to attack it. I don't know if it works better for people's schedule just to do that during the normal stand-up, or what. But I know that I reached out to you to try to set some sort of a meeting with Nathan since he set a lot of this up. It's not 100% necessary. I think there's probably some, since he's the one that set it up and knew how it worked and what he was going for and what the capabilities were, he might have had some, I guess part of his vision might be something that we're just completely neglecting. So I thought it would be helpful in moving forward. But really, that's all based on his schedule. What I would say is that if he comes up for air and has some interest in the website, that we'll work around when that's back on his radar.
Yes, I think work's probably gotten busy for him. I have not heard back, and it's been a few weeks now. I followed up with Facebook, phone call, voicemail, and text. So if he's that busy, then I get that and understand.
Yeah, and there's plenty we can do that does not require even having that meeting. So I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff we're still cleaning up and trying to fix performance and things like that. So that probably have a higher priority than some of the larger visions.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. And then tomorrow I'm gonna give you a call about that rhetoric discussion.
About what?
Rhetoric?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sounds good. Does anyone have anything else? Thank you all very much. 6:40. Wow. We are just cruising through this, huh? I think everybody was aching to get stand-up done. Burned through that, and it had retro and also crosstalk. Excellent. Well then, everyone, we are concluded, and until next time, we'll see you on the webs.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you all.
Everybody.
Bye.